On today's episode of LawFlip, we announce the winner of last week's LawFlip Goodies collaboration.
Barrett, can you give me a drum roll? And the person's name is...
And piggybacking off of last week's episode, this week's guest is an inspiring and trailblazing female entrepreneur.
And my friend called me. She's like, I feel like you could do this. I need 10 gifts. Can you do this? And I was like, sure. I put 10 gifts together. They were like, what is this? It had like flowers in it and beautiful products, and it didn't look like a normal gift box. And that's how that started.
Barrett Prendergast's story will probably surprise some of her 90,000 followers and even people that have known her for a long time.
My parents got divorced when I was 2. My mom was 28 with 3 kids, all under the age of 5.
Why she keeps taking shots.
Even if it's hard, you can do it. I've tried so many things.
How she deals with the haters.
But then I also realized that none of those people commenting actually follow me. Those aren't the people that I have a connection with.
And another incredible deal of the week.
We are going to be giving away one of our Rise and Shine gift boxes. It's worth $180.
And of course, a legal tip of the week.
If you are getting it and you're in California, check it and see how much sick time you have. If it's missing, that's an issue.
LawFlip, objection, Your Honor. Turn the game upside down. LawFlip, objection, Your Honor. Turn the game upside down.
Okay, welcome to LawFlip. It's an unfiltered conversation about law, life, entrepreneurship, and so much more. I'm Benjy Smith. So last week, our episode with Ray Carlisle of Goodies was the most engagement we've had, and we really appreciate the love. If you entered into the LawFlip Goodies package contest, we will be announcing the winner during this week's Deal of the Week segment later in the show. So I'm a lawyer, and many people have asked, like, why do you have non-lawyers on your show? Because frankly, most of the inspiration that I draw for business or life are from non-lawyers. I love my fellow lawyers, but I really have found inspiration in my fellow entrepreneurs. And so that's why, for those asking. And so we get another exclusive with another incredibly strong female entrepreneur in person. Why does a florist, gifter, and lifestyle curator have 90,000 followers? Today we'll find out. Some may not know our guest came from extremely humble beginnings. While she went to fancy schools and may appear to have come from a privileged life, that actually wasn't the case. What was it like growing up around super wealthy people when she wasn't? How did she have the tenacity to push through tons of challenges to create an incredible business? Our guest, Barrett Prendergast of Valleybrink Road, will answer those questions and many others. Today, we're going to peel back the onion a little bit, Barrett. We're going to find out exactly what the meat of Barrett Prendergast is. Welcome to Barrett Prendergast.
Hi, happy to be here, guys.
Okay, so let's flip the game upside down. So first, we got a new phone number. It's 1-833-LawFlip. Repeat it with me, Barrett. 1-833-LawFlip.
1-833-LawFlip.
Perfect. Okay. So before we go back to the beginning, for those that don't know, what's your current business, Barrett?
I currently have a luxury gifting and floral design company called Valleybrink Road.
Okay, and you have tons of followers. You're Insta famous. What do you?
I don't know if we say Insta famous, but
so that's
I have a few moms that follow me probably.
Okay, so you're being modest. You got around 90,000 followers, and that's like, to me, it's the least interesting part about you, but it's definitely something that people like to know, get a little street cred. Okay, why do you think people connect with you and your brand?
Well, I think there's probably two parts to it. I think that people originally connected to Valleybrink Road because at the time when I started it, Instagram was it was the beginning stage of it, so it was a lot of pretty pictures. So a picture of a gift box or a picture of a flower arrangement, those were new things for people to see. I think over the years now, why people connect with me on social media is more sharing kind of the authentic story of my life, sharing motherhood, sharing the highs and the lows. I mean, I don't really post any of that other stuff anymore on my personal page. It's really kind of more of that real life content that I think now especially people are more drawn to.
Yeah.
Because we've seen all the pretty pictures. We've seen all the perfect, perfect houses. And
you grew up in Los Angeles, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Grew up in Los Angeles in the Valley.
In the Valley, the 818. And
the 818.
So But I think that a lot of people, even through today, they probably think of you as a girl who's had tons of privilege, comes from a super wealthy family. They just probably just assume that because of the people that you've been able to surround yourself and just the lifestyle that you live. But was that really the case growing up?
I mean, it was definitely not the case. My parents got divorced when I was 2. My mom had 3 kids. Basically, when she got divorced, she was 28 with 3 kids, all under the age of 5.
Wow.
So as parents, we know that's tough.
Wow. Probably gives you, being a mother now probably gives you a whole different appreciation for her as a mother.
I mean, it really, I don't even know how she did it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So yeah, having kids definitely changes your understanding of what your parents went through and had to deal with, and how they're like still happy. Like, she's still so happy and smiling and everything's positive.
Well, that's even more amazing. I was going to, the fact that she did it is one thing. The fact that she was happy and still smiling, that's a whole nother level.
Right.
So how do you think it affected you coming from, let's say, a non-traditional home, or at least at the time, a non-traditional home, and being surrounded with super wealthy people, the Olsen twins and famous people all around, Campbell Hall, and all the glitz and glamour of Los Angeles?
I think when I was younger, I was aware of it, but not really to a degree that made me feel less than. Mm-hmm. You know, I knew that we went to a school and we were on financial aid, and we were really lucky to be there. We weren't just allowed to be there. I think that probably also played into a lot of like my work ethic and my I always worked really hard in school. I got good grades. I was very much a perfectionist. I played all the sports. I did all the stuff. I really tried to excel because probably deep down inside, I knew that I had to work hard if I wanted to, stay in this school and move on to a good school, because I couldn't just pay for it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So in a way, it was a really good gift, I think.
Yeah, and I think that gives hope to people who are either who are growing up in less than perfect circumstances, that you can thrive and make the best of the situation. And so after high school, you go to USC, and after USC, and I'm assuming you did the same type of thing with USC. You were able to get some sort of financial aid or some...
Yeah, I got a full ride to USC, and that's why I ended up going there. I went to the school that gave me the most money.
That is incredible.
Yeah, we were really lucky. My mom is also very much an academic. Both of my parents went to USC too, so I'm sure that's also why I ended up getting the package that I got from them. But my mom is very much an academic, so it was always really important. For her whole life, she really worked hard to get us into good schools and get us financial aid and do all that work. That's a lot of work to even get your kids into those schools.
It's a ton of work. And it's not exactly like she was Aunt Becky just paying your way into it. You actually got the full ride. So, okay, so you get out of USC, and take us through your career overview from the time that you got out of USC through Valleybrink Road, because you tried different things, and I watched along the way.
I tried a lot of different things.
Yeah, and that's really inspirational too, that you kept with it and you kept going. From the time that you got out of USC to Valleybrink Road, give us a little bit of the overview.
So as long as I can remember, when I was young, I always wanted to go into fashion. And so kind of throughout my 20s, I worked in retail. I worked for different designers. I did a lot of different kinds of jobs in fashion. And I never really stopped to think, is this still making me happy, or is this just what I always said I was going to do?
Right.
And so I was kind of going through the motions. I wasn't really happy. And all of a sudden I turned 30, and I actually stopped and thought about, is this really the direction I want to go in? Because I'm not really getting a lot of fulfillment from it. Or is it okay to change? Is it okay to pivot? But then what do you pivot to? And so I spent some time thinking about what really made me happy outside of work. And that always came back to cooking and entertaining and creating beautiful things for people and connecting with people over food and stuff like that. But going to cooking school, it's so expensive to go to cooking school.
Back to the money, the expense.
Back to the money. What do you got to do? So I talked to a lot of different people, and they said, don't waste your money on going to cooking school. Why don't you just start to get experience? So I went and I tried to get a job in a restaurant, and no one would hire me because I had no experience.
That old catch-22.
Yeah. So I applied to a bunch, and I couldn't get a job in a restaurant, and I would be like, but I cook a lot at home. Like I watch a lot of the Food Network. I cook at home. And they're like, that's nice. So finally, there was this amazing woman, Karina, who used to have a restaurant called Canalay in Atwater Village where I live. And I went into her, my friend worked there, Greg, and he was like, just come in and meet Karina. I feel like if you talk to her, you'll connect with her. So I went, and she's like, I can't give you a job. You don't have any experience. But if you want to just come in and start learning, and you can kind of like have a little internship. So I said yes to that, and I did that for a few weeks. And then she sat me down and she said, you know how to cook, so you can start. And she gave me a job.
Awesome.
And
okay.
Yeah. And so I worked there for a while. I worked for a catering company. And then I decided that I thought I could do it on my own.
That was very gutsy, Barrett. So then you start, then you start, that's a big jump there. So then you start hustling, and you start doing catering?
Really, it was more personal chef services. So yes, Valleybrink Road originally was a catering company, but it was me getting all these amazing ingredients and going to people's homes and cooking, like creating dinner for them there for small groups of people. So I'd come to your house, bring everything, and cook in your kitchen.
Got it. And then eventually you turn to gift boxing. Is that the right way to say it? Gift boxing?
Gifting. I make gift boxes.
Okay, gifting and doing and then floral arrangements. And we're obviously not just talking about like your everyday gifting and floral arrangements. These are really special, curated by you. But what was where did you get the idea to pivot to those things?
Well, I'm also one of those people that just kind of says yes to things at the time. I mean, I didn't have any money. I needed to make money.
Yeah.
And my friend called me. She worked at Fox, and she called me one day, and she's like, I feel like you could do this. I need 10 gifts. I can't go make them. Like, you're creative. You have good taste. Can you do this? And I was like, sure. So I drove around. I put 10 gifts together. I took them to Fox, and they were like, what is this? It had like flowers in it and beautiful products, and it didn't look like a normal gift box. And that's how that started. It definitely was not my idea.
A business is born. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you build this business, and a big part of this growth comes from the growth of social media and Instagram and your growth. And you really become, for lack of better words, like an influencer. And I'm sure you're like nauseated by that word at this point. But you are one of those influencers where you basically are able to post things, and people are influenced to buy things or to basically, better understand your experience. And so I wonder, how did that come about? Like, what was your experience of growing that audience? And like, at what point did you look at yourself and say, how the heck do I have so many people commenting and liking and DMing me and all that stuff?
Well, I think at the beginning, Instagram really helped build Valleybrink Road, especially launch the gift boxes, because at that time, no one was doing anything like that. And after I made the gifts for Fox, I just put a picture on Instagram, and people were like, what is that? That was the beginning. And then all of a sudden, I didn't have a website for 2 years of selling gift boxes.
That's amazing.
People would email me or send me a message, and I would be like, here's a PDF to fill out and send back your order. It was just, but I was just trying, it was just me. I was just trying to stay afloat. And I also got pregnant. I had, with Costa, my first son. And so everything happened very quickly, but it really was because of that initial Instagram exposure. And then people just started following, It was also a type of product that people would receive and then also take a picture of and share.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened. And then once I had kids, I really started to share a lot of motherhood and, early motherhood. As you know, like, you have 2 little kids. a lot of that time is at home and you're alone, especially in that first year. You're there. There's a lot of isolation that you can experience as a mom. And so in many ways, having Instagram and having that platform was a way to connect and share. And then more moms who are also in a similar position would be following along. They would see me at 3 a.m, like, my kid needs a snack right now.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Juggling. I think I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you've been able to do that, balance being a mother and being an entrepreneur, and how it's particularly hard for a mother.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's not easy. And I don't really think it's ever a perfect balance. I think
do you think you drew inspiration a lot from? We talked about this a little bit, but like, hey, my mom did this. She did this as a single mom. Like, I could figure this out.
Yeah. Also, my mom's someone who never complains.
Mm-hmm.
Like, life is life. Some days are going to be hard, some days are not. But I'm also one of those people that this is how it is. There's stuff that we have to do, and I try and find balance, but I don't think there really is such a thing as a perfect balance life. It's, some days are better than others. Some days are harder than others. And trying to stay positive and give yourself a little credit. You're trying to do a lot.
Yeah.
You're trying to be a mom. I really want to be a mom that spends time with my kids, that, I spend time with them in the morning. I cook meals for them. We play together. I want to be engaged. I also love having a business. I love being creative. I also need to have a business because I need to make money to create a life for my children, and hopefully a life that can be a little less stressful than my childhood was.
Sure.
So, it's not easy, but I think that you do what you have to do, and hopefully you can push through, and know also that this time is a phase. They're not always going to need you in the way that they do when they are very young.
Sure. And then your decision so this social media thing I want to go back to for a second, because part of putting yourself out there is putting yourself out to the quote unquote haters and internet trolls and stuff like that. And I'm sure you have a mindset and how you deal with it, but I saw you post something about wearing masks, and pretty non-controversial. And you had
apparently it's very controversial.
Right. You had several hundred comments blasting you from the anti-masker space. Mm-hmm. The biggest one that I saw was the obsession was that you were somehow getting paid by a they. There was a they out there that you're getting paid. Like, how do you deal with that, with getting that type of volume of hate? Like, are you concerned for your safety? Are you what do you do with that type of information when you get it?
I have never experienced anything like that from anything I've ever posted before. A lot of the things were very cruel and mean. They said I was abusing my children, that I was a horrible human, that I was pathetic, that I was being paid to post a picture of a mask and telling people that they need to do it. But then I also realized that none of those people commenting actually follow me.
Right. So they probably...
Those aren't the people that I have a connection with.
Right.
I think it probably would have hurt more if people... Because I try and answer every message that people write, because people write me asking really personal, thoughtful things. And so I actually have connection. It's not just these people follow me and I don't connect with them. So I think it would have hurt me if it was people that I did have a connection with that were saying that all of a sudden I was like this monster. But it's people that obviously are just trolls.
Yeah, but that brings me to this whole compartmentalizing things, whether it be for hate on the internet, whether it be for taking a loss on a gamble that you had in business. What's been your mindset that's allowed you to take losses or to try things and to maybe not be successful on things? Because clearly you've had to do things and maybe they haven't worked. What's the mindset been that's allowed you to keep going forward even when things haven't worked out?
I guess it's not really having any other option.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. That goes
Like,
back to like the thing, like as if like you have some other option to go back to rich parents and just bail you out.
I mean, I have to try things because I have to make money because I don't have anything to fall back on.
Right.
So I guess it's just, I don't even think about it. It's, I gotta hustle. Maybe this will work. Oh, this sort of worked, but this about it didn't work. So then we gotta pivot. And that's just kind of been in me for a long time because I always had to make my own money. I always had to try new things, and I'm creative. So I didn't want to have a job working for someone else. I didn't want to have, a corporate job, or I didn't want to be a lawyer.
Hey,
sorry,
no,
guys.
I don't blame you at all. I completely get it, and a lot of the lawyers listening totally get it. Trust me. So, with this following, I'm sure had what is like the coolest thing that you've had from like having this weird online presence? We have so many people following you. What's the thing that you like? The first thing you think about when you think about like, other than being able to make money, which is obviously cool. But
I don't really make most of my money from Instagram. I think also, for me, it's been having like a community. I think a lot of people are like, oh, that's an influencer, and maybe it seems shallow, but I actually have found a community of women. I mean, the majority of people that follow me are women, and it feels like it's a real community. I may have never met any or like most of the people that follow me, but I still feel connected to them, and it's allowed me to feel a certain kind of like motherhood and friendship and connection with people that are going through a very similar phase in their life in terms of like motherhood and children.
Yeah, a lot of us have challenges showing like the imperfect side of ourselves on social media. I've had challenges with that myself. What was the calculus for you in showing the lesser than perfect side of your life to an audience, many people of which you don't know?
I don't think it was really, when I started doing it, was really like, oh, I've decided I'm going to start sharing more real content. I just was sharing in that way, and I'm kind of sharing in real time. Like you're kind of seeing my real day happen as I share it. So it just people just started responding to it. People would write me, and people write me all the time and are very grateful that I share a lot of positive, happy parts of what it is like to be a parent and have young kids and work and have, all of that. But I also share a lot of the hard moments. And once I saw that was really helping people, and it was helping these moms who were feeling like, they are going to lose it if they have to be at home any longer with their child, or they feel like they're a bad mom because of this thing or that thing. And so I just feel like it offers something positive. It seems to help people. So that's why I continue to share in that way.
Yeah, and I bet you probably feel more gratification getting that type of feedback from the tougher side of things than when you post something that maybe could be considered glamorous.
Of course, and I'm not living a glamorous life.
You say that, but I think people see that you've had success, and they just like they probably have your entire life, have assumed all sorts of things about you. So I think like, I don't know, I think that your following may not understand that you haven't had a glamorous life your entire life. I think this might be the first, because I followed you forever and I've known you forever, and I just don't think that people understood that about you.
Well, yeah, because I've never really shared and really, Instagram has only been around for so long, so they're really seeing like that, those few years of your life.
And I also think that like people like, oh yeah, it's cute, she's having a tough time as a mom, but like she probably just has like tons of money sitting in the bank, and like this is all, it's a cute little show she's putting on there. Like I think that there's a vast majority of people that probably think that about you until you're talking about it today. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe they do. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who, influencers that present a certain life, and it's, they don't have a lot of hardship, and they don't run businesses and all that type of stuff. But I'm not sure all of people's assumptions, but I've never really shared any of the background. People are kind of following along in the past few years.
What are the biggest challenges that you have now as a business owner? Obviously, you have COVID that crushed your delivery because you used to do delivery, in-person delivery. So that I'm assuming took a big hit. What are some of like the other challenges that you're facing and how are you dealing with them?
Well, yeah, I mean, this has been extremely difficult for our company. We have had to stop doing flowers. We've had to stop doing in-person deliveries. We're just shipping right now, but also people are not spending money in the way that they used to spend. A big majority of our business is corporate gifting, and also so many businesses are going out of business, or they're just waiting to kind of weather the storm and see how things unfold. And so it's been very difficult, but I also feel like so many people are going through a lot of these things right now. So, and I've connected with a lot of those people, and hearing other people's stories and challenges has been, at least there's some comfort in that.
Yeah.
I'm also just trying to do the safest thing for our employees, to do the safest thing for our family, to try and, slowly move forward, because we kind of don't know what's going on. And hopefully things get better at some point soon.
Yeah, they will. They will. Well, and you're going to figure it out because you have to, Barrett. You don't have a choice.
Otherwise, I got to pivot.
Yeah. So, okay, one thing that I may have a misconception about is you cooking food. So, like,
yes.
You, from the time I've known you, it seems so seamless that you make, like, the best food. It looks amazing. And then you just post the recipe as if, like, I don't know. Is cooking as easy as you make it seem?
I cook simple food.
Okay.
So I think that is something that oftentimes people will find a recipe for a complicated dish, and they don't have a lot of cooking experience. And then they're like, I don't know how to cook. I couldn't make, pad thai the first time I tried to make it.
Which, by the way, I think you actually got me into pad thai, which is the greatest dish, probably the number one dish in the world. Yeah. So, but you figured out a way to keep it simple in the kitchen. So that's a big takeaway. Don't try to cook pad thai.
Yeah, I think it's simple recipes, good ingredients, and the less complicated it is, the easier it is to tackle, especially if you're just starting out. Also, if you have kids, you're like, I don't need to have 3 hours of my day spent making dinner. It should be able to come together in hopefully 30 minutes. So
sure.
I also am like sharing in real time. I don't have like photo shoots for a day of cooking.
Right.
I'm like, let me have that before you eat it, buddy.
What are the plans for Valleybrink Road? What are some of the new exciting things that we're going to see come?
So we're trying to really start creating lower price point gifts. We are trying to move towards more shipping, because we honestly don't know what's going to happen for the next year or two with, COVID and everything. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to develop that. We're working on a candle right now. So things like that are nice items to give someone, to let them know you're thinking of them, but are just at a lower price point. So there's,
cool,
easier entry level.
Okay, so anything else? I thought there was one other thing, and we could just delete
we're starting a blog.
Oh, okay. Talk to me about the blog, because that seems like, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought blogs were kind of done. Tell me what I'm missing.
Well, hopefully they're not. So before, everything was it got really mingled. So Valleybrink Road was catering, and then gift boxes and flowers, and then all of a sudden I'm sharing my lifestyle, and it was a big old mess.
Yeah.
Because I just kept saying yes to all these different things. So last year we decided to separate them. And so Valleybrink Road is a gifting and floral design company. And we're launching a blog called Barrett and the Boys. And that will be really where I share all of the recipes and lifestyle and all of that content.
Very cool.
And the recipes are, a lot of people that follow me really enjoy that part of what I share. So I want to have a place for them to go where they have access to all of those recipes that I create that are easy. You can do them. It's good
That's
stuff.
Exciting.
Everyone
That's
can cook.
Okay, so you've overcome a lot, and you've come a far way since you were a little girl, little Barrett. And
little burrito.
Little burrito. So if you could talk to little Barrett or anybody else that needs inspiration, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that even if it's hard, you can do it. You may try 1,000 times. and you just got to try again. I've tried so many things. I mean, I had...
Start listing the things. What did you try?
I mean, I had a bracelet company in high school. I had a company that I would glue butterflies onto little hairpins. I made necklaces.
Purses?
I painted t-shirts. I made purses. I've done so many things. And so I think that you just try things and you just got to keep going. And if it doesn't work, it's okay to change your mind. I had a hard time coming to that at 30. I'm old. Am I allowed to just change to something else? And I don't think it's ever too late. And honestly, work is hard, so you should do something you enjoy.
I love that. Okay, amazing. We're moving on to Deal of the Week. So the winner of the LawFlip Goodies collab giveaway. Barrett, can you give me a drum roll? Okay. So I know this was a tough call for Ray Carlisle, the founder of Goodies. It was a tough call. So many people wrote paragraphs and paragraphs and came from the heart. I can't believe the deep inspiration that this thing brought out of people. But Rhea chose somebody, and the person's name is Jerome Eisen, at Jerome Poor Hamid. Congratulations, Jerome. This is going to be an amazing gift. So, while that's exciting, it's also sad because the giveaway is done. But the good thing is we have Barrett to come through with another hot giveaway. So this whole Deal of the Week thing, it really was supposed to be not literal, like we're giving away deals, but it's kind of turned into that, and we're okay with it. So
it's so fun to win something.
And,
I don't win a lot of giveaways. I've won a few in my life, and it feels wonderful.
Absolutely. Okay, so Barrett, tell us what the giveaway is going to be today.
We are going to be giving away one of our Rise and Shine gift boxes. It's filled with wonderful things like granola and coffee and tea and honey, and it's going to make you feel so good. And it's worth $180.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, and what do you have to do, Barrett, to enter?
You have to follow LawFlip, and you have to follow Barrett Prendergast, and you'll announce next week.
Yes, and you have to like and comment what you learned from the podcast on the actual post of the podcast, which is going to be done on IGTV on the @LawFlip Instagram handle. So now we're on to Legal Tip of the Week, sponsored by Smith & Benowitz, a personal injury, employment, and class action law firm. So we're the anti-Karen law firm. We want to stay far away from the Karens in the workplace and everywhere else. So, by the way, hit us up at 1-833-LawFlip. Okay, so you know that pay stub you're supposed to get with every paycheck? Well, first of all, if you're not getting one, that's a problem. You should come talk to us. Second of all, if you are getting it and you're in California, check it and see how much sick time you have. If it's missing, that's an issue. So you want to look at your pay stub and see how much sick time do I have. Check it out. Call us with any questions. 1-833-LawFlip. We learned a lot today. One of the main things we learned was Barrett hustles hard. She goes hard in the paint. Okay? She doesn't give up, and she is incredibly inspiring. Thank you so much, Barrett. Tell us where tell us where we can find you on social media. Give us all the plugs so people can find you if they're not already following you.
So you can find me at Barrett Prendergast, and you can also find me at Valleybrink Road. So there's 2 Instagrams. Follow along, and sharing motherhood, recipes, sharing gifts, flowers. We got it all.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Barrett. We really appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you next week, everybody.
LawFlip, objection, Your Honor. Turn the game upside down. LawFlip, objection, Your Honor. Turn the game upside down.
Okay, so Ariane, they're asking where they could find us. So for LawFlip, it's at LawFlip and lawflip.com. For Smith & Benowitz, our law firm, which does personal injury, employment, and class actions, you can find us at Smith Benowitz and smithbenowitz.com. For the personal stuff, like where you're really going to find the juicy stuff, at Benjy Smith and benjysmith.com, at Wages Guru and lewisbenowitz.com for Lewis. Oh, so LawFlip is produced, directed, and edited by the young legend Ariane Tabibi, visual effects and compositions by another young legend, Oren Azad. Intro music provided by Pen Practice. Pen Practice, what is it? Premium instrumentals for upcoming artists by the music industry's top producers. For more info, visit penpracticemusic.com. I had so much fun recording the intro song with my man Hilton Deuce Wright. Looking forward to hearing more and more from Pen Practice. So the LawFlip identity, this hot logo that you're looking at, created by Garrett Whiston and Travis Nagel. Special thank you to Shai and Seth from the Horwitz Marketing Agency. A huge thank you to Oren and Vanessa from Smith & Benowitz for endlessly dealing with all of our podcast bullshit. And lastly, a huge thank you to our beautiful wives, Julie and Lisa, for supporting our vision, and all the love to all of our 4 boys combined. Disclaimer, this podcast is made available by Smith & Benowitz for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is only intended to provide general information and opinions about legal and other concepts, and is not intended to be used as a source of legal advice or relied on for legal advice. By listening to this podcast, you understand that no attorney-client relationship is being formed between you and Smith & Benowitz or any of its attorneys. This podcast should not be used as a substitute for competent legal advice from a licensed professional attorney in your state.